Buona domenica. Ciao, everyone. This is Esther.
Alfred here. We're 2 minutes early today, so you get 2 whole minutes extra.
Of You, Me, and Sicily. Welcome to our channel. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, we're two expats living here in Sicily, and we come to you every week talking about all things Sicilian, really.
Well, the last couple of weeks we've been running hither and yon. We had groups and stuff like that. Actually, the rest of this month is going to be a little bit truncated, so have a little bit of patience with us. When we can on Sundays, for sure, we're going to make it in a special effort to do our live chats. On Wednesdays, we've been replacing it with different type of programming because we're basically on the road then. Were you on the road this week?
I was on the road, and just another programming note, there's a new episode coming on the Aeolian Islands, and I had such a beautiful visit to the Aeolian Islands. Sometimes they're called the Lipari Islands, and there's 7 islands on the Tyrrhenian Sea. Simply magnificent. It's volcanic activity that caused them. And I went to the island of Salina. It was a great thing. Okay, let me see if I can do it out of memory. The islands are Lipari, Vulcano, Filicudi, Alicudi, Panarea, Stromboli, Salina. I got all 7. There you go. I got all 7. And we went to the island of Salina, which is the second largest one. And it's really known, you guys, because there's 400 different types of vegetation. Meanwhile, when you go to Stromboli or you go to Volcano, it's literally a volcano. And from our hotel, we could see Stromboli going nuts, going crazy every single day. And of course, you can take boat rides out there. But 400 different types of vegetation on this island. When you approach the island, I was like, wow, this is really green, really lush. And walking around, the views are beautiful. Driving around, attention people, attention, driving around the islands. So just, it was fun. But the views are spectacular. And there's a couple of foods that are very particular to the area, including they cultivate, Alfred, capers. So a lot of the foods have capers in them. For instance, the salads, the pizzas, the pastas, a lot of things with capers in them. Also, they cultivate olives, a special kind of wine called Malvasia. So I had a great visit. And of course, I'm working on a new episode of You, Me, and Sicily. So stay tuned on our YouTube channel.
What sea is that on?
That's the Tyrrhenian Sea. And in fact, up by us, where we are right here in Acicatena, outside of Catania, it's the Ionian Sea. On the northern slope of Sicily, it's the Tyrrhenian Sea. And on the bottom, on the west and south, is the Mediterranean. The colors there are very different, Alfred. The colors of this sea as opposed to that sea are very, very different. But nonetheless, very beautiful. Now, let me just say one thing. If you are coming to Sicily, I always recommend people visit the mainland because there is enough to see on the mainland of Sicily. But if you're willing, if you have time, I strongly suggest going to the Aeolian Islands. You just take the ferry from Milazzo. There's several going throughout the day. It took us about 90 minutes to get to Salina because we stopped at Lipari to pick up people and take them there. But it's very nice. Strongly recommend it.
What did it cost you to take was it a hydrofoil?
It was a hydrofoil. So if you guys don't know what a hydrofoil is, it's a boat that you go and it raises above the water and then it goes really fast. And, you pass by all these islands. So it's absolutely spectacular.
How much does it cost to take the hydrofoil?
22
euro,
to
about
Salina.
25 bucks. And how about the hotels over there that you stayed?
The hotels, there's different prices. Obviously, you have to do your research. We stayed at a little bit of a nicer hotel, but there is plenty of hotels there. And of course, like the rest of Sicily, plenty of good seafood. So that was very, very spectacular. And, right now in September, not very touristy, not a lot of people there. So it was good to see. I did go swimming in the Tyrrhenian Sea, so that was fantastic. The other thing I would recommend that you ask the locals which restaurants are the best. Here by us, when we do our tours, we only go to restaurants that we've tried. They're true. Some of them are old from Alfred. Some of them are newer ones that I have acquired over the years. But going to an island like that I've never been to, I relied on the locals. I relied on the hotel staff. to ask them what's the best place, what are
Yeah.
what places to stay away from. So talk to the locals, even if you don't speak Italian. Try to converse with them in a little bit of English.
Esther's travel companion was the lovely and talented attorney Linda Bruno.
Lisa Bruno.
Like I said, Lisa Bruno.
Close enough.
Who hails from Massachusetts, from our neck of the woods, but is relayed. She's not a Texan. And she reported to me that there was a lot of muskie, as they say.
Yeah. So
flies,
there's a special fly. We researched this.
A special fly.
A special fly
Oh.
indigenous to the island of Salina. And my arms, can you see over here? I mean, I was beaten alive.
You
I
did?
mean,
Yeah,
that's-
you
that's
did.
something-
Holy
yeah.
smoke,
Oh,
Reno's.
yeah. Oh,
Do
yeah.
you remember what, Esther, when I was a kid, right, in Methuen, we used
Mhm.
to go to the farm, and we had these things. It was, you kind of pull them, and it was stuck with glue, and the flies
And we
used to
kept going, why
stick
didn't they do that? Why did
If I
they
go
do
to that
that?
place, or if you go to that place, and there's fly issues, you got to pack a couple of those sticky things with you, right?
Yeah, no
That'll
kidding.
just get them. That'll just get them.
So if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, please hit the like button. Leave us a comment. What do you guys want to hear from us? We'd love to hear from you guys on You, Me, and Sicily, Facebook and YouTube. And I just want to make a quick announcement that on our webpage, youmeandsicily.com, our merchandise is up and live. I put a link on the description of this show. So if you're on YouTube, watch that. We've got t-shirts, we
Let's
got long
go.
sleeve.
Yeah.
We've got lots of great items. So
We shipped our first 40 orders this week, which is good. So
Yeah.
Jennifer is current. Now we're shipping one once a week on Friday. So if you give an order, it'll go out the following Friday. And by the way, Esther, you got a nice email from somebody. So did I. The quality of the
Yeah.
garments are very, very high quality.
yeah,
So
the
I'm very-
embroidered. So it's
The
far
embroidery is
different.
really
Yeah.
terrific because everything except the t-shirts are embroidered. The t-shirts, by the way, have a brilliant 3-color screen too, so it's like really, really
Yeah.
good. Before we go on, I need to give a shout out to Jerry Genovese, who's here with us,
Mhm.
along with 2 of her pals from, where are they from? Florida, right? Florida. 3 gals, and today we had a wonderful time, didn't we?
Mhm.
We did the Paesi Etna. We went to Via Grande. We went to Cafe Una.
Mhm.
We went to Alfio's, that beautiful little deli over there. What else did we do in Via? Oh, we went to the public garden,
Mhm.
which is excellent. And then we got into the car, and then we drove to Tre Castagni, my ancestral home. And they went into the Church of Sindafu. Did you go into the Hall of
Yeah,
Miracles?
so
The Hall of
we
Miracles?
went into we
Hall of
we
Miracles?
looked out. We got there just in time. There was mass, so obviously that was
Yeah.
beautiful. And then we went down to the Hall of Miracles, which is something I've never seen.
Did the girls
before.
like it?
Yeah, they were all like, "Oh my God, I've never seen it."
Oh.
Because this is a place, so San Alfio, Philadelphia, and Chirino are the patron saints of Tre Castagni, and we went into the Church of San Alfio. And in the basement, there's something called the Hall of Miracles, where people throughout the centuries, I mean, there were pictures dating back to the 1800s there, would pray to the 3 brothers for intercession, and miracles happened. And they did a picture showing what someone had got an accident, someone had some kind of a disease or something like that, and they always put the 3 saints up there, and then whatever the accident or problem was, and then that they were healed. So that was very, very interesting to see. And that's Tre Castagni, going to Tre Castagni, people love that stop on our tours, not only
Yeah.
because it's your ancestral home, but because it's a very unique church.
I showed the girls today something that's off the beaten track. I showed them the jail, the old Spanish jail that's behind the house of my grandmother, that we don't usually take people, but we were waiting for Esther to park her car today, so I took the gals down there, and they were like stunned at the, it was probably a very brutal place. This was during the Spanish occupation. And then, of course, they went to the mother church way up top.
At the highest location.
Yep. And then what was the
And
last?
but the spectacular thing also
Excuse
about
me.
that stop is that you have a panorama of the province of Catania. You can see all the way to the port on a clear
Mhm.
day. You can see Taormina and also Calabre. So it's a very unique spot. Hey, I have a question
Wait a
for
minute.
you.
Where do we finish up the day? Give them the whole day.
Wait a sec. Where did we finish up? at our vineyard, Terra Constantina, one of our vineyards
Yeah.
on the foothills of Mount Etna. And the fun thing about this vineyard, Salvatore, who does the tours, he always says, before you taste our wine, you have to understand the vineyard and how it works. And so we did a little bit of a walking tour. There's also a panetera, which is the place where they used to stomp on wine in the olden days.
The grapes,
yeah. To make the wine in the old times, dating back to the Romans, the Greeks. And he was saying, you guys, the European Union outlawed this, or said it was unsanitary to make wine like this, but they were making it for centuries.
Another stupid EU law. They've only been stomping on grapes since, I don't know, before Caesar.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's unsanitary.
But the fun thing is that it's still operational. So for quite a fee, if you want to stomp on grapes at the vineyard that we know here, you can.
Oh,
but
no kidding.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. It's quite a fee.
I learned an interesting factoid today, okay? It takes 1 kilo of grape, that's 2.2 pounds, stripped from the stem. That's 2.2 pounds of grapes, not just the grapes, to make 1 liter of wine. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty interesting. I learned that today.
Yeah. And, the interesting too about there is that they not only do the barrels, the oak made out of wood, they also use cement, a cement container to make the wine, which gives it a little bit of a different flavor. And the reason he said that they do that is because when you have some kind of a wood like an oak or some kind of other barrel, the flavors of the grapes change, right? But when you have a cement container, then you get the true flavor of that.
Yes,
and one more thing about this vineyard is completely organic. And things grow in the wild. So as we're going around looking at the vineyard, there's a kiwi tree, there's a chestnut tree. Hey, have you guys ever seen what a chestnut tree looks like? Remarkable. It's this round, big things, and they have like prickly things on them. We're walking around, there's wild fennel growing. There's prickly pears. And so, tons of mint, tons of rosemary. So as we're walking around, it's really a feast for the nose, and then of course a feast for the taste bud.
Well,
to see.
Esther just talked about cement cases for wine, but I happen to know other organizations here who have done a spectacular job with cement shoes.
Shoes?
Cement shoes. Now, what do I mean by cement shoes, Esther?
Tell me.
Cement shoes. The mafia. They'll take them on the sea, and they'll put their feet, encase it in cement, and then they say ciao as they go to the bottom of the sea. You didn't know that?
No,
cement shoes. How would she know that?
You crack me up.
I'm telling you right now.
You crack me up right now. The other thing about that vineyard, by the way, that I really like is that everything is very specific. So the bottling, the labels, they all have some kind of an ancient name. Like Mount Etna is Aetna, right? In Greek. So one of the labels had that. One of them had a very more fruity flavor. So they had the flowery flavors, So they had a picture of this flower that's indigenous to Etna on the picture.
I would like you to call up his right there. Okay?
All right. So let me say hi. Alfred, don't forget to mention Pasticceria Russo in Santa Veronina. It was open 1880. It still keeps authentic. Old furnitures and pastas and honey sweets, also ricotta. Can I just say something about this?
Wait a minute. I wanted to make the comment.
We did an entire episode.
We did a whole episode on that. Marzipan. They make the marzipan.
That's right. And I sat with the lady.
And you also made the come si chiama, the cornetto. You made the cornetto with the guy,
oh my God.
Right?
So I rolled out the cornetto.
The place is awesome. We've been there.
Silvio, if you go to our YouTube channel and in the library, there is the foods and sweets from Etna, and we featured the Russo family.
Santa Veronina is a tough luck town, though, because it's one of those towns that always gets hit with the earthquake. Several years back, it got hit because it's kind of close to Zeffarano della Etna. And, there was actually a couple fatalities there. But Russo has been there for years. And the ladies that painted the marzipan, Those ladies were elderly women, and one lady had been doing it, I think, for 50 or 60 years.
Exactly.
Right? It's
And they
crazy.
sit there and they, paint these marzipans. And if you don't know what marzipan is, it's an almond type of a sweet sugar, and they're shaped in different styles. So let me take this question. Nick, I have a question for you too. Did you watch Stanley Tucci's Searching for Italy episode on Sicily? And if so, did you agree with his assessment of the island? I did not watch it.
I do not agree with it, frankly. It's nice that they put the spotlight on Italy, but he threw in some basically political comments about the migrants. He had no business doing that, in my view. Okay. And it's very nice when you have a fully financed camera crew and he could spend 3 months or 2 months doing pieces. Believe me, there are a lot more things that Stanley Tucci could have done in Sicily. And I'm going to make this invitation to Mr. Tucci right now, which I made several months ago. How about you come back with that crew? And how about you let me and Esther show you what the essence of Sicily is about? Because it's not about the migrants. It's about the people, and it's about the history of this country. So come on back. I'll tell you what, I'll even pick up the tab for your dinners. How does that sound? Stanley Tucci, I'm throwing a gauntlet down right now. Come on down to the real Sicily. So that's how I feel about this.
John says, tell Esther about the collection of cement shoes at the bottom of Boston Harbor.
Let me explain that to you, okay? That's Whitey Bulger. You know Whitey Bulger?
Oh, that's right.
I'll tell you a quick Whitey Bulger story. Can I please? 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I got a call one time from the FBI because people know that I'm here. So they said, listen, we're going to send you a photograph, or there was a photograph that a DEA agent sent, who was on vacation in Salina, sent to the FBI. And I was asked, do you know where this place is? Okay. Because the DEA agent, it looked exactly like Whitey Bulger when he was on the run. So I looked at the picture, and within 1 second, I knew where it was. Okay, it happened to be on Corso Umberto, at the top of the stairs. Where, for you people who have been there, on the right-hand side, on the right side is that lady that has all the spices and stuff. Mm-hmm. And this dude had on a Scully cap. Okay, and I looked at the picture, and then I checked the weather for that day, and that weather was 75 degrees. So if somebody has a Scully cap on, which is a winter version of this, at 75 degrees, that means maybe he was on the sea the night before. So I told the FBI to check the manifest on the arriving ships that come in to Giardini Naxos, because they come in all the time. And I bet you find what you're looking for. So come to find out that this person, which they identified, was a West German person that was on a cruise, had arrived in Giardini Naxos, but it wasn't Whitey Bulger. Mm-hmm. Now, why did Alfredo Sauce even disclose that information? Because there was a $10 million reward, right? For $10 million.
Darn it.
Right? So I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to spend this money. Right? Oh, wow.
Listen, Jerry Genovese, we talked about you guys and the girls. Jerry, I want to hear what was the best part of your day today, because we talked about our little. Well, I want to hear from her.
Eating her granita and brioche.
That's right. That's right. We had that.
She had a granita with brioche with chocolate and almond, and the guy was like,
he had chocolate and lemon, and the guy got all
chocolate
confused.
And lemon?
And the guy goes, no.
No, you don't put.
She's like, no, I'm just in America. Give it to me. And of course,
but you should see the way she makes. I have to say one thing: of all the women in all the years that I've been in Sicily, I have never seen a woman so artfully make, with the brioche, the bread, the sweet bread, a sandwich, a granita sandwich.
That's how you're supposed to eat it.
No, that woman didn't leave a single centimeter of brioche open, and she carefully laid it. It looked like a work of art. Jerry Genovese, you win the award for decorating of the brioches this year.
Listen,
great job.
Do you like pane con zatto? Do you guys know
Yes, I eat it all the time.
Do you guys know what that is? Pane con zatto. That's one of those breads that they have here, and they have different types of toppings. They can have tomatoes. It's almost a little bit like a focaccia. Anyway, just to go back to the story about Salina, everywhere They had pani cunzato. They had pani cunzato, obviously, with capers because they cultivate them, with tuna, with tomatoes, with mozzarella. Then they had ones with almonds, with ricotta. I mean, that was just, circling back to pani cunzato. But you like that?
Pani Cunzata's history is that of feeding the poor people.
Mhm.
All it is bread, okay? And you open the bread up and you put a little bit of olive oil in it.
Mhm.
You'll put salt and pepper, and then you're going to put whatever vegetable is available to eat that doesn't cost any money. Typically, it's tomato. So that's the typical one, and they put it in the oven. I just had one the other day because on Fridays I don't eat meat, so I actually made one. It was delicious. Now, but some people put in ham or prosciutto or salami. And by the way, salami. I have to say this before we
But
continue.
wait a second.
So it's
no,
yeah.
in
So
here
it's for the
in
people.
Salami. No. Here in Salami, all the tourist places, that's all people were eating for lunch because things don't open until 7.
Yeah.
So there was a place that had like 10 different flavors of pani cunzato.
They put different additives
They
in.
had anchovies.
Yeah.
I mean toppings. They had anchovies. They had capers. Like I said, it was very interesting because I've never been to a place where almost every single bar or shop sold pani cunzato. Anchovies, that's right. Anchovies too, Leonardo. That's right.
I want to get to Tony Patty's in just a second. Wait a minute before we get to Tony Patty's. You have to understand that if you don't have any money in Sicily, you can still provide for your family. Okay, you could have a kilo of pasta costs €1, and all you do is you'll take that pasta and you boil it and you throw some either garlic in it or some olive oil, and that's pretty much a staple. But pane cunzato also is a staple of the diet because you're having bread, olive oil, and some vegetable. But by the way, vegetables are dirt cheap here.
Yeah.
So you could have, that's what it's all about, living with no money in Sicily.
Okay, so let me go to Tony Patty's. Let me see if I can find him fast. Okay, let me read this. Tony says, Al, I've heard that since the Italian consulate is still closed, those seeking dual citizenship can apply directly to Rome. Court order denial of justice for inability to get appointments at consulate.
That's probably true, Tony. I haven't really heard about it, but it makes a lot of sense. I think the Americans are getting pretty jerked off and pissed off, frankly, that they have to wait over 2 years to get an appointment for a consular official, and then at the last minute get it canceled because of quote unquote COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. Why not have a Zoom, for Christ's sake? Excuse my language. It's unconscionable. The real reason that all this stuff is happening, and let me tell you what the real reason is, because I don't pull any punches here. You've got people from Venezuela, Colombia, and Argentina knocking down the embassies to get out of those countries. And they try to get into the consulates in the southern portions of the United States, Southern California, Texas, and Florida, and especially in Houston, where you can't even get an appointment, okay? Meanwhile, you've had people waiting in the queue. They have all the paperwork done. In some cases, they've spent hundreds of or thousands of dollars getting this paperwork, and they can't get an appointment, okay? And remember, you're not being made an Italian citizen. You are an Italian citizen already by blood, and all you're doing is proving it.
Yeah.
So if you have to come to Italy and you want to be a citizen, Tony Patty, or anybody else, by all means, come here. Now, that said, here's my caveat to you. Make sure that your paperwork is in apple pie perfect condition. Every T is crossed, every I is dotted, okay? Because a lot of the people in the small comunes, they are unfamiliar with the process themselves. They probably have done one or two in their whole career, okay? So they don't know. So that's why I would suggest to you, if you're going to come here, spend the extra $1,500 or €1,500, get a professional like a lawyer who knows the dance. He'll contact that comune first. He'll send by PEC email, that's a private email, the paperwork. They'll discuss it. And once they say, yeah, it looks good, that is when you fly here, okay? And when you fly here, the next step is you have to get a resident card. So that means you have to rent a place. You have to get a resident card. You have to open up a bank account. So there are a lot of steps here, but you want to know something? Someone trying to get into the United States of America, they're going to pay $15,000 to $25,000 to become a U.S. citizen. So if you have to spend $5,000 or $7,000 to become a member of the EU, which is going to give you freedom to travel in the 27 EU states, especially now in this climate, is it worth it? I think it is.
Yeah.
So that's my view on
So
that.
Al, what are some of the other benefits?
Well, once you're an Italian citizen and you're living here with a resident card, primarily you can get free medical. Okay, if you or else they'll give you some type of a graduated thing. If you pay taxes here, of course you're going to get free medical. Number two, you have freedom to travel and live and work in any of the 27 European Union countries. Okay, that in and of itself is tremendous. If you want to get a dual citizenship for psychological reasons, okay, the Italians don't want you. Okay, they don't want you unless you're going to come here and be a contributing member of society. Up north, there's a big movement to cut this stuff down. Okay, up north, the Northerners feel these people from America want to come here because of the bad situation that's in the United States, and we're going to have to pay for their medical. So there's a lot of tension building right now. So if you want to do it, it takes a couple of years for legislation to get through the parliament. If you want to do it, by all means, get that paperwork finished, because unless yours was done by fraud, okay, they can't rescind it. So listen to what I'm saying. Read between the lines for what I'm saying. That's just my view on that.
If you're just joining us on YouTube or Facebook, welcome to our channel, You, Me, and Sicily. Make sure you hit the like button. Leave us a comment if you're enjoying this and share it with a friend for sure. If you guys are just joining me now, we talked about my trip to the Aeolian Islands, which I highly recommend people do when they come here. So when we're done here, make sure you scroll to the beginning and listen to that.
Listen,
so have you been? You've never been to the Aeolian Islands?
No. Every time I want to go, I lay down to that urge passes.
I
have no desire to get on a hydrofoil, travel hour and a half, and be half a mile away from an exploding volcano. No, I'm not interested.
Oh, by the way, Salina has
no interest, especially with flies.
The last time there was an eruption on Salina was 13,000 years ago. So Stromboli.
But for heaven's sake, it's 2 miles away. Who cares if
Stromboli? Who cares about Stromboli? It's
yeah,
over there.
right. Or volcano, right? Yeah.
Volcano was very dormant. Actually, the interesting thing that there's the sunset at different places, tramonto. So we had to go all the way to the other side of the island for the sunset, and the sunrise was on our side. So it was very interesting. Did you get my email concerning the book, The Falcon of Palermo? What did you think?
Joe, who did you send it to? Alfred, or did you send it to Esther? Because if I got it, in all probability, it went in my spam folder, which I get a ton of.
Joe, why don't you send it again?
Resend it. Let me evaluate it for you, okay?
That's right.
So
okay.
Listen, one other thing, when I was talking about the T-shirts,
yes.
If you have received your own T-shirts, I know a lot of these people whose names I'm seeing we've mailed stuff to, can you just put a note in on the thing today that you got it, and what do you think of it? Because we want our merchandise to be the best, the best there is. So give us a comment, please.
I think our friend Alfio had his hat on. The hats look great. The black and blue. Oh my God. So I put a link on YouTube in the show description. So make sure that you check that out. Also, if you see on YouTube, there's a join button. And by supporting us $1.99 a month, it's just a small way of supporting us. So we thank you very much. And we, one thing I want to say that people, we didn't do a show on Wednesday. People are like, where's your live? Where's your live? So we're going to try and keep as regular as possible during our tour season, because we have our next tour coming up. But right now with the girls, I have to tell you, with these 3 girls, I'm having a lot of fun. Tomorrow we're going to Taormina.
Not me. I'm going to the Marketo. I'm going to buy some more underwear.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to buy some underwear. What I'm going to do is, first of all, Lisa's coming with me. And then she's going to buy some clothing or something for her daughter. Cheap, right?
All made in Italy.
All made in Italy. cheap stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm going to look around because I have to start thinking about my grandkids when I go back to the States.
In
Then I
November.
want to be able to bring something with me. Okay. So I like to go there. This time of the year, they have new merchandise and we'll just, check it out. Just
All right, I want to talk about something, but first, Leonardo, thank you. Just be aware of the phony lawyers in Sicily because they know you're American and
Yeah.
love. That's why Alfred works with an attorney outside of Catania because
inside
he,
Catania.
well,
He's in
outside of
Catania.
Catania, and he works with him with American clients. So you have someone
We've been
good
doing
because
a
it's
lot of
25
home
years, right?
purchases. Yep, a lot of home purchases lately. A lot of estate work as well. And he and I work together. I interface with the American clients. Massimo, who by the way speaks English and writes in English, he and I work the cases, but he's the attorney of record. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you have a place you want to purchase, but don't send me an email saying I'm thinking of buying a place in Sicily. So what are we going to do? Pick out a place out of a hat and say, okay, here's one? No, you need to do your own research. Okay. Or else what's going to end up happening is the legal bills get piled up. So I want to
That's
buy
good
this
advice.
place in Archie Costello. I want to buy this place in Palermo. Here's a picture of it. We got it. So from there, we take it over, and then we were able to charge a legitimate and honest fee. Okay. But that fella is right. There are crooks. There are crooks in the real estate business, but also there are crooks in America in the real estate
Well,
business.
every business.
There are crooks in the legal business, but also there are crooks in America in the legal business.
Yeah.
There are no more crooks in Sicily, percentage-wise, in my view, as there are in the United States. Crooks, criminals are everywhere.
True.
That's how I feel.
I want to
about
say
it.
something about Alitalia. If you
Oh.
guys are planning on traveling, so you guys know that they've gone out of business. Aita has bought some of their fleets, but not all. Well, guess what? They're so upset that a lot of them were going to be losing their jobs. They were protesting in Rome at the Rome airport. In fact, they were at the entrance of Rome airport, like laying down, not letting people in, disrupting things. We've had a bunch of people. So just be aware if you're going to be traveling Alitalia in the next few weeks, make sure you call them immediately. But after October 15th, they're not even selling tickets. But the crazy thing is, with my friend Lisa, they're striking. They're going to go out of business. You just never know. And so I highly advise everyone. But this is an advice that I give even before Alitalia. Make sure you call your carrier, whoever you're going, because even, during protests going out of business, it's always better to check. I always tell our clients, not only
the union.
Wait, I always tell our
the
clients.
Fat union.
Excuse me.
Okay.
I always tell our clients, just let me just say that when you come here, make sure also your credit card and all T's are crossed, all I's are dotted is very important because in Italy, you just never know. You just never know.
Alitalia has degraded its legacy. 2 weeks before they close, listen to me, okay? They go on strike, okay?
Mhm.
They go on strike because the new entity that's going to be starting off small, Italian National Airline, is only hiring 2,800 of the fat, bloated 10,500 union workers there, okay?
Mhm.
Where it's a caste system, okay? You've got people over there. I don't know if you've ever flown Alitalia, but it's not a nice experience. Personally, they should have been out of business a long time ago.
Millions
Now
of dollars
what they're
from
doing,
the EU. Millions
they're
from the
causing stress to travelers who are fearful to begin with the COVID.
EU.
And now these idiots and more, I hope they don't get hired. They should be working in the fields picking olives, in my opinion. Or
But it
tomatoes,
has,
maybe tomatoes.
even my group in September, they were having problems. So it's just something to be aware of. Let me take a few of these questions. Is it time for the big sconti around the store? So sconti means discount. And it's the end of,
January.
no,
February.
Also, if you want discount on summer stuff, there are some discounts.
Well, if you go to the discount mall, it was that discount mall, Vienna.
Yeah. Right
Discount outlet, right? That's good stuff.
The outlet is
outlet mall.
great.
Yeah, that's a good stuff there. That's a good stuff. You see what I just said? I'm losing my English. That's a good stuff.
That's
I just
good
said
stuff.
that. That's a good stuff.
Nice to see Sa here. Thank you very much for being on. Earlier in the show, by the way, Sa, we talked about the Aeolian Islands. So I strongly suggest, especially for you, to scroll to the beginning and watch that. Let me just see this one. I've lived in Partinico for 20 years. Now, me and my wife will be retiring block retiring back as we're 4 generations.
Perfect. Welcome back. Leonardo, if you're here, you know how to get a hold of me if I can help you. God bless you. Good
Partinico
health too.
is a great town, Leonardo. We did an entire episode over there in the province of Palermo. That's where that church is on top of the cliff, remember? The church of, I believe it's Santa Maria, and you go up on top of the cliff, and it's just beautiful. Remember that in Partinico, we had to go like this with the.
Is that the one that
curvy
had
thing.
all the shrines on the way up? Or is that a different place?
That's the one.
How's
That's
that?
the one.
The shrines are beautiful there. The church was the one, the Santa Maria del Ponte, of the bridge. It was under the bridge.
That's exactly where we were.
What a memory Alfred has, huh?
Yep, that's exactly
Good
where
place,
we were.
good place.
But that's a beautiful place, and the church in there is absolutely beautiful.
I liked
as
all
well.
the shrines. People on the way to this particular church, right, for about 10 miles, people have built shrines in the front of their driveways of the Madonna, all right? So, and a lot of them are artworks. I swear to God, we stopped about 20 of them. Finally, she says, "Basta, we have enough."
What do you mean? The
to take pictures of those beautiful.
No, those shrines.
The shrines, right? They're just beautiful over there.
Yeah, I mean,
we need more shrines in the United States. I swear to God, we need to have stuff like that. We need more religion in the United States. I'm so upset about what I see every day there.
What is your opinion of renting a room in a monastery or old convent rectory?
I can handle that.
Go ahead.
All right, John, listen to this. If you go to Taormina, the most elegant 5-star hotel there is in a monastery that they converted into a 5-star.
That's
The
right.
Sand something or other.
That's right.
All right, that was a monastery. I've been in there. The grounds will just blow you away. The rooms are Spartan, all right? There's also another place in Taormina up above that was a former nunnery. And I'll never forget the time my cousin Gracie Hamilton was here, right? Her and her father. And they were, so happy that they got a good price on a place. And I went up there to see it. And basically it was like a single bed, an oak chest of drawer, and not even a mirror, right? I swear to God, it was unbelievable. There's some places that are very beautiful.
Yeah. I mean,
answer your question, John.
Yeah. It was interesting today on our tour. Alfred was showing the girls the old prison that held all the Spanish. Yes, San Domenico Hotel.
San Domenico, thank you
very much.
Thank you very
That's
much.
exactly it. And the girls were saying, because there are a lot of abandoned buildings here in Sicily. And the girls will say, well, why doesn't someone buy it and make apartments from it, or, buy it to do it some? And Alfred goes, well, would you want to be living in a room that you knew was a prison? So I think, Alfred, I want to ask you, what happens to these buildings that are now abandoned, that were owned, for instance, in Tre Castagni, the old prison? It's completely abandoned.
Listen, here's what I know, about that prison and other prisons.
So what happens
where
to
the
them?
Spanish tortured men who were protesting against their treatment, there should be some shrines there,
Yeah.
They ought to knock that goddamn building down and put a simple shrine.
Who owns that building now?
It's probably owned by the Comune, but Tre Castagni is so broke, it doesn't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. Do you know what the history of that term, pot to piss in and a window?
No, tell us.
All right. In England, during the Middle Ages, the poor people, they used to collect their urine in pots, and every day the leather makers would come around, and their urine would be used to soak the leather to make it tougher, and when he came, he would yell out, I'm here, and they would open their window and pour the urine into a large thing. So if you say he doesn't have a pot to piss in,
that's a great story,
or a window to throw it out of, now you know what that means.
Okay,
You're really poor. All right.
Hey, talking about Tre Castagni for one more second, we've been talking about Etna a lot, and Jerry, in fact, said to me, hasn't there been 30 eruptions? No, there's been almost 65, 70.
Is that how many there's been?
There's
Holy
been a lot.
smokers.
And
We're
walking around,
veterans.
and walking around, we haven't had to sweep in a long time, because what happens is the ash comes over here and it becomes a really little bit of a thick soot type of thing. But I was stunned at Tre Castagni. There were piles of Etna ashes everywhere. And imagine this for the community, because the ashes, when they're on the roads, it's dangerous. So what they do is they reduce the speed limit. They have to clean it up. It's a big issue. And then what about the sewage? What do you do with all these ashes? Well, one of the things that the president of the region, Nello Zametti, declared a state of emergency, but I was talking to someone in Tre Castagni. They still haven't gotten any money, and they still aren't able to clean it up. So talk about not having money to do these things. What about cleaning up ashes? In the United States, we have, people taking care of snow, but
It's
ashes.
worse than when that ash gets wet. It's more dangerous than driving in a snowy condition in New England. You go into a skid here, you can't control it like you could in the States. Okay, in the States, if you go into a skid, you drive in the direction of the skid. That rule doesn't apply when you on this stuff over here.
Pat really says prisons make great hotels, condos. The Liberty Hotel in Boston, I didn't know that. It's an old prison with great history. Some rooms still have bars. That is really cool.
Before you move on, Pat, I want you to please extend my best regards to your husband. When Pat was here with her husband's a profoundly intelligent man, and
Chris.
opposite the political spectrum of myself. He has a national reputation, and we had intellectual discourse at a high level. There was no insults, no nothing, just
Which is great.
Two people,
two brilliant people
talking their point of view. So
please
give my love and respect to
Listen,
him.
Silvio,
he's always welcome in my home.
Silvio says, as somebody are talking about it, yes, it is time to mention our friend Silvio, who has some B&Bs down in Acitrezza. We had a nice visit. Silvio, I was just thinking, and we haven't seen you in a long time. It's good to see you on here. He's got some places right down in Acitrezza by the water.
He's the nicest guy in the world.
And you have access to the water. He's got kitchen. It's a really nice place.
I have to say something about Silvio if you listen to me. Silvio, we have a lot of clients who would like to come here during the off season for 3 months at a time. Okay. When you have a chance, email myself or Esther. I want you to come up with un buono prezzo, a good price, so that we could offer this to our clients who want to come here for 3 months at a time. That's how long you could stay visa free. Okay. So we would love to, and we like you. We respect you. I love your children. I hope your daughter, by the way, is doing good at the University of Catania. Give her my regards, and also your wife. But we would like to give you business. So fazzi uno conto, make a price speciale per Alfred Esther, okay? And we'll try to get you people to rent your beautiful little place. Very convenient.
Nice to see Nancy Maranta here.
Oh my God, I haven't seen her for so long.
Loved our trip together to Tre Castagni. It was so nice. It was so nice. There is something about Tre Castagni that is very, very moving. I love visiting that town. I'm going to take this question right here. All right. First time viewing, you guys, please give us an overview of who you are and your background story there in Sicilia. Mille grazie, ciao. Okay.
We each do our own. Huh? Don't do me, I don't do you.
We're in a good mood today, huh, honey?
Why? What's the matter?
No. So let me just give you a quick overview. We have a channel on Facebook. We have a channel on YouTube, Yumi and Sicily. We do videos on YouTube. We do videos for Facebook. And we also do tours. I came here because of this guy. I interviewed him in 2013 about Sicily. And he said, to make a long story short, because we've done lots of videos about how him and I met. But to make a long story short, I interviewed him in the TV studio, and then kept talking and talking and talking. And I was like, oh, wow, Sicily. And he said, why don't you come to Sicily for a month to do 7 videos on Sicily? I was like, what? Sicily? Okay. So I started researching. I came here in 2014 and I didn't stay a month. I stayed 5 months. Now, 7 years later, we have over 200 videos on our YouTube channel on You, Me, and Sicily. And we still do tours, and I still keep saying to this guy, I'm not done with Sicily. You know, my visit to the Aeolian Islands today was just reminded me that this island is one of the richest islands full of treasures, because there is something really a feast for the eyes, the nose, the ears, and definitely the taste buds. So we're both from Massachusetts, but this is the reason that I'm here, and we live in Achicatena.
I'm an attorney. I'm a Massachusetts attorney, and I have a law practice here in conjunction with an Italian attorney. I've been doing that for many years. I write books on Sicily. I've written 4. I do a whole bunch of stuff, but mainly I want to get the word out about the beauty of Sicily. Oh, we have a nonprofit called the Sicilian Project, which next week I'm going to talk extensively about. We've educated 1,200 kids for free, thanks to the generosity of American contributors. But mostly it's about Sicily. It's about the texture of Sicily, the history of Sicily. It's to fight against the negative stereotypes that are portrayed in American TV, media in general.
Mm-hmm.
I want to throw up when I see some of this stuff that they portray Italians and Sicilians. And sadly, a lot of those people that are portraying them are, in fact, Italians or Sicilians in the United States who are laughing all the way to the bank. Seriously, okay? And so we present, I present, in any case, an unvarnished view of life in Sicily. The good, the bad, the wonderful, but also the ugly. So when someone is thinking about relocating here, you know, they have their eyes wide open and not their eyes wide shut. So that's why I do what I do.
And you know, that's very interesting, because initially, Alfred, we came here and said, we're going to do videos to educate people about Sicily, dispel some of the myths, the stereotypes. I mean, even before I came here, Alfred, someone asked me, you know, does the mafia still exist? Are you worried about the mafia? You know, there is the mafia, but, you know, one of the big goals that we had is to educate and dispel these types of rumors. And it turned out, you guys, this is so heartwarming for me, that when we do these videos featuring Sicilian towns, Sicilian people, Sicilian foods, history, culture, etc., Sicilians are so thankful that we do these videos. I'll never forget, we did a video on the open market in Achi San Antonio that is held every single Monday. It's a huge market. They said everything from underwear to shoes to bags to vegetables to fish to everything. And I interviewed one of the vendors, and a few weeks later, I went back and I showed him the YouTube video, and his eyes teared up, and he said, thank you for showing the true Sicily, not just the bad stuff. And it warmed me up to no end. I mean, that type of response that the Sicilians are appreciated. They're very appreciative that we do these types of videos, that finally someone is showing the good. But as Alfred said, we also do the good, the bad, the ugly. But that's been a really good experience for me.
Let me answer Jimmy Ingram's question. Jimmy said, what did he say?
How much has
the Sicilian Project donated so far? Well, we've been around 10 years. All the money except for operational expenses is out. Okay. At the beginning, we were doing €8,000 a year. We were retaining language courses to do them. So 8,000 times 10, or 8,000, even a little bit less than that, is, you know, over 50 or 70,000 euro.
Yeah.
The last 2 years, because of COVID, we weren't able to run the classes. So now we're donating money to worthy charities. So this year we've already donated 4,000 or 5,000 at the beginning of the year, and now we're gonna do another 5,000 or 6,000 for Christmas. So this year it'll probably be someplace between 6,000 and 10,000 euro, not dollars, depending on how much money we can hustle.
Yeah.
It's a long and
And
the
it's
short
called
of it.
The Sicilian Project.
www.
The Sicilian
The Sicilian
Project.com.
Project.com. Last week, the last time we did a live show, Esther, we got 5 donations. Okay. And we appreciate it. We appreciate it because our friends know what we're doing. We're trying to get 8,000. I think we've hustled so far 2,000. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're coming in good chunks, 500 at the 100, this and that. They go
And
to
they all
Texas.
straight
Giovanni
back.
Lanza is our president. We've already identified the charities we want to give the money to.
Mhm.
So what we'll do is right before Thanksgiving, we're going to release funds that we have. And that's basically it. If we get a lot of money is going to go out. There are no paid staff. Okay.
We all do this as
we do it out of our pocket, basically. Okay. So it's out of the goodness of a lot of Americans of Sicilian extractions heart. Okay. John Owens, Giovanni Lanza, Joe Montecolono,
Jody DeLuca,
Jody DeLuca.
Jim Ingram.
They're not on the directors.
Hmm?
Or Jimmy
No.
Ingram is. Yeah, okay. You could say Jody DeLuca too.
No,
because she's a benefactor.
Yeah.
There are lots of benefactors. Vivian Cucciara is a
Yes.
huge benefactor. There's many benefactors on this program. But the people who have been with me ab initio from the beginning, the directors, right? They know what it's all about. They know, and when you make a donation, the last thing I want to say, we're a 501c3 recognized tax exempt charity in the United States.
Mhm.
So if you donate $500, you get to write off $500. I mean, that's pretty good. What's the matter?
No, nothing. Your cigar is going all over my computer. Bob and Breezy are here. Thank you
Wow.
for all you're doing. Our mission to raise public awareness of the positive achievements and contributions of Italian.
I love Bob.
Now, that's a man who has done
Yeah.
a lot for American Italians, the New Jersey Italian Heritage Commission.
And he's
That-
coming here for Christmas.
So, on that note, he's coming here for Christmas on our Christmas tour that we will be having in December. So it's very
I'm just
exciting.
crazy about that guy.
Hmm?
I mean, he and I hit it off years ago from the 1 second mark that we met each other, and also his wife Breezy.
Those two,
What a
I'm so
dog,
looking
right?
forward. And
That's gonna be a good trip.
That's going to be a good trip, and we're going to have Dr. Rosemary on there too. So we've got a great group. And by the way, you guys, there's still some openings. But I want to say something else about Bob and Breezy and people that take their heritage seriously. People that want to educate others about their heritage. That is a beautiful thing, not just to pass down to your children, pass down to other generations, but keeping your heritage alive. And by the way, you guys, I'm 100% Hungarian. I was born in Hungary, but keeping your own heritage alive and learning about it. I give huge kudos to everyone who is Sicilian and has done some kind of research or have watched our videos or have read about Sicily or have made the steps like Jerry Genovese to come here, to walk in the footsteps of their grandparents. Jody DeLuca just moved here. Jim Ingram is looking to.
She took a lot of guts for
keeping
Jody to do that. I swear to God, I
completely
tip my
brave.
hat to Jody DeLuca for upping and coming here. She's no spring chicken, and the place that she's
Poor
living
thing.
in. Well, no, you know what I'm saying. I mean, it took her a lot of guts to sell a home, and to move here. Period.
Yeah.
Okay. I tip my hat to her. I love that
Yeah,
kid. She
all
did
those
a lot of
people.
guts. It takes a lot of guts to do that.
All right. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you hit the like button. Honey, I got it.
All right. Thanks.
Hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel because, as I mentioned earlier, new episode on the Aeolian Islands coming very, very soon.
Jimmy Ingram, who
Jimmy
is
Ingram.
my favorite character. Jimmy Ingram is a character. I swear to God, I feel like doing a whole episode on this guy. But he asked a couple of questions. Yes, it's the same project is a 501c3 corporation. And he asked, can we leave money in your estate? The answer is yes. We have the lawyers get in touch with the lawyers that have drafted your estate up, all official, and that's it. People say, well, how about can we leave money if my mother dies and to donate to the Sicilian Project? The answer is yes. Okay. We're a legitimate tax exempt charity. Okay. With zero payroll. Okay. You look at all these big outfits, they have 70% overhead expenses. We have nada. Nada. We're just doing it because we like to do it.
Yeah.
We love to do it, actually. All right. That answers that, Jimmy.
Huh? That answers that.
Love the Cupola, Alfred. This is a Borsalino. The Cadillac of summer hats from. It's the last time I'm going to wear it till next year. I'm going to have to start wearing because I'm going to start wearing my other ones.
You know what's really exciting? That the first time that I saw roasted artichokes and chestnuts, we're both like, oh my God.
And they smell so good today. We were driving by that. I was going like this from outside the car.
I know.
It was great.
All right. Let's take a few.
Wait a minute. What did Alfio say? I love Alfio.
Oh, Alfio, I forgot to call you back. We were out touring all day, a couple of days. Ciao, Alfred and Esther. Regards from Galveston Island, Texas. Thank you both for all you all do to promote Sicily and raise funds.
Thanks, Alfio.
It is a pleasure.
Your picture, Alfio, of the hat, I posted it up. It was the most beautiful picture I saw with that Sicilian, you, me, and Sicily hat. Looked awesome on you, brother.
Jeanette, where is your ancestral home? She said, interesting. That is Jeanette. Why I'm here in Sicily to see the area where my father.
Where is that? Where is that?
I just asked her. Why don't you leave us a little bit of a comment? One of the most rewarding things also for me is taking people like Maria Quinteria to take her to her ancestral home for the first time, and the feeling that people get walking on the street that their ancestors walk, going to the church that they were baptized, that they were christened, that they were married, and doing all those things is such a beautiful way to, closing up the circle of your life. Your ancestors left Sicily, and you come back and walk on their steps. That is such a beautiful thing. And I promise you, will be a life-changing thing.
I want to answer Nick's question. Nick asked,
okay,
does the Sicilian project have any need for volunteers to assist with the charity? You could, obviously, if you contact the SicilianProject.com, you speak to Giovanni Lanza. How do you want to volunteer? Do you want to volunteer to come here? That's almost impossible to do. First of all, our teachers that teach our kids, they all have the proper certification. It's called a TOEFL certification. Teaching English as a foreign language certification. And that's a rigorous test that they have to pass. Number two, we go right into the community, okay? And what our donors do is they say, geez, we want to do a class in, say Brolo is a good example. Brolo, which is in the province of Messina. We recruited a teacher, okay? And she in turn contacts the comune, and they provide for us a classroom. And it's up to the people in that comune to recruit the students to go into that program. We do not recruit students. We don't do that. What we do is we pay the instructor money to teach it, and we also provide materials for the students to have, and usually sometimes
the most important thing, it's free for
it's
Sicilians.
Free. It doesn't cost anybody anything.
That's the most important thing. I just want to mention something. When I first started working with the Sicilian Project, and we would go to places and say, we want to offer these classes for free, and they'd be like, what? You're doing this for free? And now we've done.
What's the catch?
What's the catch? What's the catch? So I mean, they're very, whoa. Why are these Americans wanting to come here and teach teach English? But over the years, after we've done these classes over and over and over again, the look on the parents' faces when they graduate, because we have a little bit of a graduating ceremony, is so proud and so thankful that we go into all these communities, teach their children English free. So that's been another beautiful thing, giving back to Sicily has given me so much. I came here in 2014 to a few videos, and, like everyone had stuff going on, but Sicily really refilled me, re-energized me, and really gave me a huge purpose. And doing these videos, coming to you guys weekly, doing our Yumi and Sicily videos on YouTube, doing our Facebook posts, working with the Sicilian Project has been probably the most rewarding job I've ever had.
As my grandfather Gaetano said, you do good and you forget it. Do bad and you regret it. Okay, so that's basically the hallmark of my family. And before I forget, Esther, tomorrow is a very special day.
Where?
Tomorrow is the birthday of our Stefania Camarada. You know, the one that teaches English?
No,
Italian.
Our Italian class
Our
teacher
Italian class
that we offer
it's her
here,
birthday,
conversation.
right?
I'm glad you told me that.
I have to I'm gonna be the first person at 12:01 to send her a thing because she is the most loving, great mother. I can't have ever seen such a Sicilian mother like her, and she's good pals with Esther. They do that Italian language thing. How's that going, by the way?
Italian conversation, not
Excuse me.
language. Italian conversation. If you
going?
want to do, good. We've got some pre-tape videos that we send out to people. If you're interested, make sure that you send me an email. On that note,
It's her birthday tomorrow.
that's good to know. I'm glad
I
you.
wonder how old she
Now
is.
listen,
Maybe 29.
someone's
She's probably
asking-
29.
Annie, if you go to www.youmeandsicily.com, that's www.
Well, we don't have the current one, do we? Yeah, we do have.
youmeandsicily.com.
Yeah.
That's where you can have that.
It's gonna be an
experience.
awesome time. We
It's
do it
gonna
every
be
year.
awesome. Yeah.
I have one last question, okay, guys? Seriously. We used to do a trip in February for Carnivale. If there's 6 people who are interested, we'll do, or 8 people, or we'll do a Carnivale trip over here. So if you want to, the weather's not the greatest, you can't go swimming, but the good thing is that all the sites are still open and there's no lines. So if you wanted to come over here for Carnival, I know Jody came. She had a good time. I remember Jody, Caroline came,
We
Curtis came,
had a good
Steve
group.
came,
John Petrosino.
came. We had a couple of years there. We had a lot of fun. So we'd like to do it again because it looks like we're going to have Carnivale. Right now it hasn't been canceled, and I hope that it's not canceled again. But anyways, if you want,
Joe is here in Citrezza. Listen, Joe, I talked a little bit about the visit to Salina, the Aeolian Islands, so make sure you scroll back and watch it. All right, let me take one more question. Do you know St. Lucy and St. Rocco in Newark Basilica Cathedral of the Sacred Heart branch book?
John, first of all, I want to thank John for his service. I mean, this guy's like a hero.
Yep.
All right, that's number one. Okay, he never says anything about it. He's the calmest guy there is. But thank you, John. Santa Lucia is the patron saint of Siracusa. Okay, La Chiesa di Santa Lucia.
Cattedrale.
Come?
Cattedrale.
What does that mean?
Cathedral.
Oh my God, no, Duomo is cathedral. Duomo, yeah.
But it is.
Anyways, John, I don't know.
I've never heard of it either.
Look at John. Honestly, you see that?
It's
I'm a
over
Red
here.
Sox fan.
What are you
Excuse
doing?
me.
It's over
I'm a
here.
Red Sox fan. I'm all upset that they got beat twice by the Yankees, the Doc Kingdom. Tonight's the next game. So, John, don't talk to me about going away, Brooklyn. I don't know.
All right. So listen, on that note, if you've enjoyed this
Just
video
kidding
on
around.
YouTube and Facebook, make sure you hit the like and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got lots more videos coming your way. And if you go to our YouTube channel, You, Me, and Sicily, there's a lot of videos over there for you to go through our playlist, our library. So plenty to keep you guys busy. On that note, thank you
Ladies,
so much for
Can I say
watching.
goodbye?
Yeah, I'm going to say my goodbye. You're going to say your goodbye, and then we'll say goodbye together. How's
okay,
that?
That's okay.
Arrivederci. Love you guys.
Did you notice today we didn't have any transmission problems?
Ciao.
That's because Esther figured out on that microphone,
What are you talking about?
the
That's
wind
winning.
microphone, how
Okay,
to
I'm
use
going to
it.
end it. Ciao.
Finally.